So in this video, I went ahead and made a video with Certified Lights. It's one of our partners. They are a Christmas light distribution and training company. So in this video, I walk you through if you're a new Christmas light installer or you're an existing one, you just haven't utilized Facebook yet. I'm gonna walk you through how you can do that from A to Z, from content on sales, on what you should do with ads and landing pages and lead forms. So if you want this, go ahead and watch it, take notes, and enjoy. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get into this. I want to keep this very short, simple, and to the point. So you guys might be asking yourself, how do I get a ton of pre-qualified leads that see my value and actually want to work with me over competitors? You might be asking yourself, what content should I be making? How can I make Facebook ads work for my market? Or any other, related questions. I'm going to go in all these in depth through these today. So first things first, you guys have to understand is you have to be in the mindset of how can I outcompete my competitors? Right? And this might be the situation that you're in right now, or it might be your competition, right? And maybe, your competition's running ads with decent content, no personal touch though, and they're kind of scammy. And what I mean by scammy is they just kind of look not appealing. Maybe it's just a before and after with some sort of like discount on it, and it just doesn't really look the part, okay? This is good for you because you can overcompete them and make sure that your ads are better. That way they can convert better and obviously you make more money, right? So this might be the situation that you're in right now. But we want to go ahead and move you over to this situation where you have amazing content, emotional and personal, great offer, and you're making a lot of money, okay? So right now, this is your competition. This is the state of them, okay? They've got decent content, but there's no personal touch. Okay, how can we actually outcompete them? I'll show you in a minute. Scammy looking ads, okay. Now, the result of this, obviously, is low leads, bad lead quality, ads that don't work, and no trust with the audience, okay? So how can you sell people if you have no trust with them, all right? And this is good for you because this means that you can go ahead and step on their toes and make your ads more profitable by doing a few things that I'm about to mention in this video. Now, in this training, I'm going to teach you a lot about content, a lot about the overview, like a 1,000-foot view looking down on this whole situation. I'm not going to be showing you ads directly, but I just want you to understand how we can actually do this. All right. So this is, again, your competition, right? Decent content, no personal touch, all right? This is how you're going to outcompete them. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. So obviously with you, this is kind of how you're going to win, right? This is a situation for if you want to outcompete them. You've got amazing ads, you're emotional and personal. And what this means is that you sell the outcome, you sell the transformation of an awesome lit home and obviously the feeling of Christmas and the Christmas season, okay? And personal is where you show your face, you're getting on camera, and you're actually building a good brand that people can know, like, and trust. And a great offer is just basically a solution to their desire or their problem that is a no-brainer for them to reach out to you for. All right, so this is what we want to get you to, right? We want to get you to a point where you've got 1, 2, 3 dialed in, amazing ads, great content, emotional and personal, great offer, and reaching good quality leads, okay? Now, the result of this, obviously, is great lead flow, more jobs. Your ads actually build trust. People actually see the value in you, and they see you as a better option to go to. And this is exactly how you're going to compete with these competitors that you have in your market, right? This is how you're going to make more money. This is how you're going to get more leads. And most importantly, how you're going to build a better brand so people in your market actually want to go to you rather than choosing the competitor. Now, this is an example because I love to give examples. This is an example of our client, Eric Clapp. He's based in Oregon. And before working with us, he hired an agency that sucked and didn't really communicate well, didn't know what they were doing, and had bad ads, barely any leads at all, and zero ROI. This is obviously not what we want. This is not the situation that you want to be in. Now, after working with us, he's gotten tons of leads, great ads, and great content. So when people actually see him, they know, like, and trust him just based off of the ads that they've been seeing and all the social proof and all the jobs that he's been doing. All right. And obviously, if you build a local celebrity status, you have all this content, you position it right with a good offer, and you have your systems dialed, you're going to make a lot of money just like Eric did. He made $50,000 in his first ever month working with us. Like right off the bat, $50,000 in his first month. Obviously an amazing ROI. Obviously here's Eric, and here is his massive review that he left us. So hopefully this gives a lot of value here on step one. So let's go ahead and get into step two and go over content, ads, and the actual lead funnel that you need to build. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get to step two. So content that you need to make successful ads with, okay? The biggest part that I want you guys to take away here, especially if it's your first year, your second year getting into the Christmas light game, I truly believe that your first and second year, mainly your first, is learning, building a good foundation and actually just doing a lot of the actual work. That way in year two, year three, year four, and years beyond, you can scale this a lot more effectively and efficiently, okay? And content's going to be a big piece of this if you're going to be pursuing Facebook ads. And I want you guys to master this so that way if you guys ever decide to work with us or build this on your own, you guys can actually succeed well. So let's go into content. So content's going to be a big avenue that I want to focus on. So this is a to-do list that you guys need to basically take a screenshot of here. I will go ahead and zoom in for you guys if you just want to take a picture quick, or I might leave this towards the end of the video for you guys just to save this. But this is essentially what we'll need. So when you guys are building a good brand, you guys have to come out the angle of, okay, if I was a customer that wanted this sort of service, what would I look for in a company? Okay, I would want to look for X, Y, Z. This is kind of what you should do, okay? So first things first is going to be selfie videos. This is going to be something that you guys definitely need if you want to build ads that obviously outcompete the competition. Secondly, time-lapse videos. Basically what this means is literally just getting a standing tripod that I have right now and pretty much recording your whole entire job, and then it will automatically speed it up, and you can actually put audio over this. So it'd be like, hey guys, this is Steve. Today we're doing a Christmas light install for our client Jill. Jill called us out because she hated tangled lights and installing them every single year. She wanted to work with a premium company that provided X, Y, Z, right? And that's kind of where you put in your value points of your services, all right? And you can also do that in a selfie video. And third, selfie video, the third is actually a selfie photo. Obviously, before and afters are great. Action shots of your team installing lights. And if you do any other services like washing or staining or, whatever that may be, also this is something that you can take away from this. One of the last two things is picture with the yard sign, and then also picture with a client or a crew member. So this could just be a selfie photo with, one of your team members holding a yard sign. This could be a selfie with a picture of one of your customers holding a yard sign with you. And the reason why you want to use yard signs is because in psychology, if you understand it, people don't actually read things, they actually just scan it. So as you notice, I've tried to make this to-do list very scannable so that way you guys can kind of read it easier. But yard signs are something that you definitely want to implement in marketing, or just big bold text that you're able to read very clearly sometimes is good. All right, so let's kind of get to the offer, because if you have good content, that's great, but you also need to tie in a good offer. And basically kind of what that means is, what can you do to show, the people actually seeing your ads and give them full clarity on what you do and why they should work with you and get them excited. That's kind of what I mean by an offer. I do not mean a discount or something like that, okay? So let's kind of get into this. So first things first is you guys need ads that obviously solve a problem and match a desire. So that's going to be part of your offer. Obviously, you need engaging ads. Obviously, this offer needs to bring out excitement. It also needs to talk about the pain point of their current situation. So that could be, dealing with cheap lights when they're installing them by themselves. This could be a stressful weekend, and obviously lights that just burn out, right? Having people deal with cheap lights is not fun. So that could be definitely something that you want to talk about. And then bringing out the excitement, we'll talk about and this is kind of where you speak about the outcome. This is kind of like talking about how great their home is going to look, how their kids are going to love it, how it's going to be something that they're going to be able to enjoy Christmas more just because they have a beautiful lit home, right? Some examples there. And then obviously build trust with your videos and your ad copy. That's one of the biggest things. And if you do all these, things that I'm mentioning in this video, people will see you as the authority over competition and trust you more. And then obviously, explain the value a customer gets when they work with you. So when I mean this, it's not like, when you send a quote, you're going to just basically say, this includes takedown and storage. Don't say that. I would come at it as an angle of like, okay, yeah, so basically what we do is we actually provide the lights. They're honestly the best lights you can get. You actually can't get them anywhere else. We actually have to contact a private supplier for these. And we actually install them, we maintain them, and we take them down for you, so that way you guys don't have to worry about this at all. Steve and you don't have to worry about getting on a ladder and breaking a leg or something just because you fell off a ladder trying to do these painful lights. We can do this all for you. Again, we do this for hundreds of clients all over the metro or the area. something like that, right? That's kind of explaining your value. Again, I can give more examples, but that's just me being very quick with this. Show how many homes in the neighborhood you help as well. So in your ads, in your content, in your organic marketing, you want to tie all this stuff in, because that's building social proof when you show people how much work you do in the community. So that's that. Again, offer is a solution to a problem, and that makes it, I guess, an offer is a solution to a problem that makes it a no-brainer. I do not mean offering a discount. Okay. And then obviously moving down to the lead funnel, right? This can be with paid ads, this can be with organic, whatever that may be, right? You have to have a hook, which basically means that you're grabbing attention, whether that be a video or a photo or your ads or your strategy, right? You need to have a hook, which basically just gathers a bunch of people, gets them interested. Your offers, where you kind of just warm them up. And then obviously lead is where they actually become a lead, become a person with info that wants your services, okay? Now, this is a big part of running, a proper lead funnel. So what I mean by this is you guys need to have a lead form that has social proof. So when they pull up your lead form, whether that be on Facebook or whether that be your website, whatever, ideally, if it's specific to Christmas lights, you want to have a selfie with your team while you're installing Christmas lights. And that would be like a banner photo. So as they're scrolling through the lead form, they see that, it builds subconscious trust. And also, one thing you also want to do is set expectations on the sales process and how this will actually work. Okay, so you could be like, on the lead form, it'll basically say the next steps of how this is actually going to work, so the customer knows who they're going to be talking to, when you're going to be reaching out, and pretty much how this works. So for example, what that would be is, okay, first call, second, in-person quote, design consultation, something like that. I would say design consultation instead of in-person quote, and then kind of just walk them through that, right? And that would be on your lead funnel, very, short and to the point. Obviously, you want to ask questions that start to get them thinking about the end result. How great is my home going to look? What colors do I want? What, where do I want these lights? How do I want to feel when this is after, obviously I get lights. And then, yeah, the two final things, right? Like obviously you need to ask for their information, otherwise they're not a lead, right? So just make that something that's very easy to do and have them fill out. One thing I would do is, if you're going to be running ads, especially when you build ads for clients, you don't want to overcomplicate the person. Just make it very simple and get the rest of the info on the call. So it's pretty much that. And then, yeah, you need a way to automate all of this as well. And obviously, we do all of this for you, but if you're going to be building this as well, I just, again, giving you a high level view, you need to automate this so it's just more efficient for you. But essentially, guys, that's pretty much, all this. So let's go ahead and get into step 3 of why this actually works in your market. And let's go ahead and wrap up.
All right, guys. So to finalize this whole thing, I want to walk you guys through the result of what you'll actually get if you actually implement this, because a lot of people overcomplicate Facebook, and I want to just make it super simple in this whole training video today. And I hope you have learned a lot of value, but I want to walk through a couple of things that you're actually going to be able to achieve, that we've helped tons of our clients, achieve through working with us. And it's very simple. So if you build all this, obviously consistent growth is going to be a major benefit to this. Becoming the local celebrity is going to be another big thing. It feels amazing when you can walk around in your market, you can go to local stores, and you can even just be working out in the neighborhood and people already somewhat know, like, and trust you. We get this from some of our clients that have been able to do this very well, and they can walk into grocery stores and, Home Depot, Lowe's, and all these home improvement stores, and people just recognize them. And that's what we want to build. But you have to understand it's going to take time and a lot of effort. But obviously a big reason for a lot of people coming to us is because we handle a lot of this and we help you with a lot of it more hands-on. Anyways, third, obviously more pre-qualified leads. If you build a great brand with amazing content, you sell something that people actually genuinely want, and you have a good way to bring in leads, obviously you're going to get more pre-qualified leads, and you're actually going to be able to make, a lot more money, right? You'll probably be able to, bring in an extra $10K a month to $100,000 a month. We've had people obviously do both of those numbers and everything in between. And it just comes down to, for example, like how much you're actually spending on ads, which I'll actually go over in a minute. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to leave like a couple minute segment of me answering commonly asked questions. And that's something that I'll go over. But this will be able to easily make you an extra $10,000 to $100,000 a month if you can sell. Again, we can generate leads. This is going to help you generate leads, but you have to actually be able to sell deals, because there's content, there's leads, and there's sales. All those 3 things have to be perfected if you actually want to spend money and make a lot more back, okay? And most importantly, guys, like, you want to build this because you want to just look at your business and just know that you want to have the comfort of just knowing that leads are actually coming to you automatically, and you always will have leads. You feel that sense of comfort, you feel that sense of security. And then obviously, most importantly, is you actually feel accomplished to actually hit the goals, right? You want to hit the numbers that you've always dreamed of hitting. Whether, again, this is your first, second, or third season, whatever that may be, you might have goals of hitting, shoot, maybe it's just $100,000, or maybe it's 500K, or maybe it's $1 million, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 10 million, whatever those goals may be. You guys can hit those eventually if you just do a lot of the things that I've mentioned. Now, obviously, there's a lot more logistical stuff, but at the end of the day, you just need more people to buy your stuff and be happy at what you do and have these people refer you around. At the end of the day, it's that simple. So that's pretty much obviously what you'll be able to achieve. Again, we help a lot of our clients build this. If this is something that you want to build on your own, I'm hoping that I've been able to give you a ton of value today and just more understanding of what Facebook actually goes, and what actually Facebook can actually do for you if you do it properly. So yeah, let me go ahead and kind of get into the commonly asked questions. All right, guys, so let's get into commonly asked questions. I hope you guys learned a lot, and you guys might be having some questions. So I just want to, touch on a few here. That way I can give you some more clarity. So one of the common questions I get a lot is, what should my budget be for Facebook ad spend? So this will kind of be dependent on your revenue and your situation and stuff like that. First thing I would 100% advise you guys to do is you guys need to master your content, and you need to master your posting and your offer before you even worry about spending money on ads. Okay, so that's just something I want to mention there. But in terms of ad spend, I would say most of the guys that we take on are people that are already kind of consistently making 10K a month. That's the bare minimum, by the way. Like consistently making around 10K a month. You can be a little bit lower or higher. And we've also got guys that do millions a year, and we help a lot of those. We help a lot of people that are in between, 300, 500K and want to scale. So a lot depends on your situation, but I would say most of our guys in those situations, let's just say the guys that are, in the middle of 10K a month and they want to start growing more, I would say most of them are spending just on Facebook ad spend, paying money to Facebook that we would manage or that you would run on your own, is probably going to be anywhere from around $900 a month to $1,500 a month. Again, that's just, daily budget spending money on ads. That's probably what I'd recommend. Most clients that we have that spend that are able to make, anywhere from $20 to $30, $40, $50,000 a month back using us, because obviously we know what we're doing when it comes to ads. But then we also have those clients, that spend $900 a month and make 9K back, but their sales processes just need more work. They might be a little bit more new. So that's just pretty much that. I would say overall, a healthy budget should be anywhere from like $900 to $1,500 if you're just kind of getting started. But obviously if you're, a much larger business and you want to make a lot more money, like a lot more, then you can obviously raise that. But hopefully that makes sense. That's kind of what I would advise. I really wouldn't recommend anything less than 25 bucks a day. So hopefully that helps. So secondly, do Google or Facebook ads work better? Or this could mean, do Facebook and yard signs, and like what works better? Okay. I want to reframe your mind. So it's not what works better. It's how can I build a whole entire lead funnel that attracts certain different types of people into my system. So Google, you should 100% be running as you get more developed. And then Facebook is 100% also a good way. Yard signs are a great way. Every way of advertising is great. You just have to master it. You have to work with somebody that actually knows what they're doing on the certain, platform that you desire to advertise on. But everything should be funneling in, because people may see your ads on Facebook, but they might go ahead and search you up on Google, and that might get you the deal. Or they might have, seen your GMB posting and they just got targeted by one of your Facebook ads and they decide to reach out and book through that way. It also could just be that they see tons of Facebook ads and then they finally see your yard sign and they call you from there. So totally depends. That's the frame of mind that you should be doing, is like, I need to be everywhere all the time so that people constantly see me and they know like they need to be reaching out to me. So that should be your frame of mind. But Facebook and Google ads work great. It just obviously dependent on your market. Sometimes Google ads won't work because your area might be too small, and that's kind of where Facebook could come into play. Again, it varies. Third, do I have to personally record content? So obviously ads with you in them is going to be something that will perform a lot better than just the before and after or some dumb animated video. So you need to be actually in it. Luckily, when you work with us, we actually edit a lot of your content. But if you don't want to personally be in the content, I would just hire a videographer or a photographer to record you, or, and I guess I should rephrase that question. Should I personally like record the content? So does that mean like, okay, I actually need to record the content myself? You can. We have clients that do. One thing I would also recommend is definitely hiring a videographer and a photographer just to get a bunch of good content, because that's what they do. That's what they specialize in, and they'll be able to actually just take the shots that actually look good rather than having you, the person that needs to be actually running the Christmas light business, try to learn photography and videography. So that's what I'd recommend. But if you don't want to do that, we have trainings that teach you and show you and give you examples of what you need to do. But yeah, you can 100% just do it on your own. And again, there's probably a lot of other questions that maybe some of you have. The best thing to do is probably reach out to me via Facebook and just shoot me a quick message. Obviously, my name is Gage Lake. I'll even pull up a QR code that will link to my Facebook or website towards the end of this call or the end of this video. But yeah, that's pretty much that. And then yeah, obviously, most importantly, can I actually hire you and GML Media to do this? Obviously, we help hundreds of Christmas light clients. Again, we helped our clients the last 2 years make $5 million from what I'm talking about and what I've showed you today. And yeah, again, like that's something that would be able to 100% help you if you work with us. That way we can just move faster and actually help you get to those goals quicker. So if this is something that you guys have enjoyed, you took a lot of value from, and you're like, I want more, I want to make more money, and I just would love if maybe you guys could just do this for me, or at least guide me in a way where we could just do this more effectively and efficiently. That way you guys don't have to spend years of learning this. So if that's something that you are interested in, obviously go ahead and book in a call. I will go ahead and pull up a QR code. This will link to my Facebook page or my website. Go ahead and just scan this with your phone. And yeah, just follow me on Facebook for a while, just kind of get an idea of who I am. And I try to provide as much value as I can on my personal page. So yeah, just get to know me a little bit more and get an idea of the value that I provide there. And if you ever feel like you want to reach out, go ahead and do so. But my biggest thing here today, guys, is I just want you guys to know, like, everything that I've talked about today is because I want you guys to help you scale. And I just wanted to try to give you as much value as I can to build a good brand, build a good system that actually generates good leads and obviously makes a lot more money. So again, if you guys are interested, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested, go ahead and just scan that QR code or search me up on Facebook and go from there. But yeah, always, I'll be rooting for you guys. I wish you guys the best and hit those goals, guys. I look forward to chatting with you guys at some point.